Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live show on the channel. Today's video is a match preview, news update, transfer news update, discussion update ahead of Man United Atletico tomorrow. But we've also got a couple talking points. The Atletico Madrid lineup has already been leaked apparently. Rangnick has given some hints about who'll be starting for Manchester United. Some Ten Hag news, some news from Fabrizio Romano, a couple of exclusive bits of information. The Glazers to basically tear down Old Trafford. What's going on with that and more. But I just got an early super chat here from Diego. Very much appreciate the super chat, Diego. Due to family bereavement, he'll be taking some time out and will return soon. Keep working hard. He said he's driving to Selhurst but won't be attending tonight's game. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Diego, and I hope you're okay. And I hope that, Crystal Palace do win tonight, even if you're not attending the game, just because they're playing Man City and we all hate Man City. Hope you're all right. Steve says it's a big game tomorrow, and you're absolutely right. It is a big, big game tomorrow, guys. And look, if we win, I was saying this to my mate earlier, if we win, I'm going to have this delusion in my head that I'm going to actually let in the belief that we can win the Champions League. I know we're not going to win the Champions League, even if we beat Atletico, but if we win, I'm going to let myself believe we can win the Champions League, and I'm going to be on some deluded ego about Manchester United tomorrow. I tell you that now. If we lose, I'm going to be heartbroken. I'm going to be crying in the next stream. I'm going to be like, end the season. Like, this is the most important game in the last, I don't know how long. Honestly, this is our most important game in years, especially because we've got nothing else going for us. Like, this game, we need to win. Like, we do need to win. I will be very, very devastated if we do not win. And guys, another thing as well, before I went live, I actually just did a TikTok and I spoke about my 5 dream Manchester United signings. Okay. And if we could get any player in the world, if budget wasn't an option, I'm talking if it was FIFA. I've got a question for you that I want you to answer in the live chat. And if you're not watching live, I want you to put in the comments. I'm just really intrigued to see your guys' thoughts. If FIFA was real and Manchester United could literally sign any player in the world, let's just say, and it didn't matter about money, it didn't matter who they were, which 5 players would you sign? Mine would be Mbappe, Rodri, Kimmich, Reece James, because I think he's more versatile and flexible than Trent, and Van Dijk. Now, the reason I go with Van Dijk and Rodri is you're instantly taking them from rivals and the top quality players. Kimmich, because he's my favourite player that isn't in the Premier League. Mbappe, because I think he's the best player in the world right now. And Reece James, because I think he's a steady right back. I mean, if I could sign any 5 players in the world, they would be my 5. But I'm intrigued to know who your 5 would be. Let's act like FIFA was real life and all of that. But I will get into the news. I will get into the updates and all of that as well. Have to leave everything on the pitch, extra time, whatever it takes, after, 2 weeks without a Champions League fixture. And if we don't win today, we won't be playing in the Champions League again for at least another year, possibly 2 years with the way United are heading, because the Arsenal project looks quite good. So you never know. We could be the next Arsenal if we don't win this game, and we might not be. The thing is, it sounds bad, but like this could be our last Champions League game for a while, because I don't think we're finishing in the top 4 unless Chelsea go into administration, which is looking unlikely because it looks like Chelsea will be bought, and I will discuss that later. So this could be our last Champions League game in a while. So we've got to make the most of it. We've got to play for our lives as well. And you know what? Just guys, I hope we win, because I will not be happy if we lose. The Champions League is Man United's only hope of top 4. Some fans think Ronaldo could play in the Europa, but certainly not. He knows he certainly won't play in the Europa League for 2 years. You're absolutely right, Steve. Ronaldo is going if we don't win the Champions League. I don't care what you think. Ronaldo is going. And now Fabrizio Romano did say that he can tell you something about Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's only said to his teammates that he wants to help Manchester United and he's not planning for anything else. Romano says that Ronaldo's happy at Manchester United. He wants to be here. However, if we don't finish in the top 4, then Ronaldo will consider his future. But Ronaldo's happy being at United as long as we're still in the Champions League. That is the situation with Cristiano Ronaldo. But I tell you what, if we don't win the Champions League, he's not staying. And do you guys feel confident about us winning the Champions League? Personally, no, but I believe. I'm letting myself believe we can win the Champions League, just because if I let myself not believe it, I will be crying, curling up in a ball, going, oh my God, what a shit season. Steve said if he could bring any 5 players, it'd be Messi, Griezmann, Mbappe, Haaland, Kane. Very, very attacking, Steve. I like the choices, but United need a CDM. Rice, Maximan, Bellingham's a good one. Top sober from Bayern, I'm willing to before. Haaland. Yeah, tell me if you could bring any 5 players to Man United. If FIFA was real life, you could bring any 5 players to Manchester United. Who would you be bringing? Vlahovic is a good shout, aren't they? But, I mean, I would just go to City and Liverpool, wind them up and get a lot of City and Liverpool's players, especially the good ones, make them shit as well. Haaland, Mbappe and Declan Rice, a lot of people, I think, would agree on that. So, guys, I have the leaked lineup for Atletico Madrid. Well, I don't know if it's the leaked lineup, but a Spanish journalist by the name of Belén Bolí, I'm pretty sure she leaked the Atletico Madrid lineup ahead of the last leg in Atleti, and she got a spot on. Because basically, 2 days before it was Atletico versus Manchester United over in Spain, the first leg, the Atleti lineup got leaked 2 days before the match, which is mad. And the lineup again for Atletico Madrid has been leaked as Oblak, Llorente, who will probably be playing at right back, Savic and Gimenez, Ronaldo, Carrasco, Koke, Herrera, De Paul, João Felix and Griezmann. So I'd assume João Felix and Griezmann are up top with De Paul, and then Koke and Herrera behind with Carrasco, maybe a 4-4-2, Ronaldo, Gimenez, Llorente, Savic. So defensive, but not as defensive as the first leg. But that is rumoured to be the Atletico Madrid lineup. And I will say, if that is the Atletico Madrid lineup, my first and initial thought is it's got Griezmann and it's got João Felix. If it's Suarez, I'm happy playing Maguire. But I think with João Felix and Griezmann, the mobility, the skill, the pace, for me, Varane and Lindelof have to start. I think Varane and Lindelof are our best centre-back pairing and deserve to start on current form. But for me, when I look at what the league lineup is, I look at João Felix. I think five goals in the last 5 games for João Felix. I think he's going to cause some problems. He did cause Maguire problems in that first leg. For me, it's Lindelof and Varane starting as centre-back. RALF Rangnick made some comments regarding who's going to start as centre-back and all of that, and I will get into that in a second. RALF Rangnick almost dropped a hint that Maguire will be starting tomorrow, actually. Hopefully that's not the case, but are we going to be surprised if that's the case? Let's be real as well. For me, I think we can beat Atletico Madrid. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think we can. I think Atletico are having a very similar season to us. They've not been very, very good. And I've got a statistic for you guys that you might like. To be fair, our home record's shocking. But Atletico Madrid have only won 3 of their last 8 games away from home. They've only won 3 of their last 8 games away from home. I know that they've just won 3 games in a row, so they are sort of getting back into good form. I mean, technically they've won 4 games in a row. So they are starting to get form again, Atletico Madrid, which is a negative. But they've only won 3 of their last 8 away games, Atletico Madrid. However, Manchester United's home record, guys. Shall we look at our home record? So a win at home, a draw at home, a win at home, a draw at home, a loss at home, a win at home, a draw at home. I mean, a loss at home. I mean, our home record's pretty shit, but Atleti away record is shit. And I'm really, really glad we're playing this second leg at home, because I think Atletico's biggest advantage in the first leg was their refereeing. I think the refereeing was very much in Atletico's favour in the first leg because the ref was being influenced by the fans. And Atletico Madrid do not play nice. They do not play nice. Everyone knows that about Diego Simeone. Everyone knows about the way Diego Simeone plays. Atleti do not play nice. They don't. They've got Suarez in their team. I mean, that says it all. Atletico Madrid's game plan will be to come to Old Trafford, score a goal, sit back and park the bus and wind us up. They will literally, what they did in the first leg, or what they tried to do in the first leg, because my man Alanga scored. But what Atletico Madrid tried to do in the first leg was literally score an early goal, park the bus and not concede for 90 minutes. And they kept slowing down the game. Because did you notice how many fouls? Atletico Madrid did tactical foul after tactical foul after tactical foul. And every time there was a foul, they tried to get in an argument with us. Atletico Madrid's whole game plan was wind us up, foul us, slow down play. Whenever we started to get the ball moving, Atleti fouled us. And that was the whole game plan going into it. It was foul Man United. That was the whole game plan, because they were 1-0 up and they knew if they kept breaking the play, if they kept slowing it down, if they kept stopping the play, we couldn't get that equaliser, we couldn't build up. And they took a moment of brilliance from Bruno with a brilliant pass to set Alanga free to make it 1-1. But we didn't get many chances that game, and we couldn't get any flow going that game because they were parking the bus, but they were also fouling us and playing a very, very nasty game, Atletico Madrid. And that is that entire game plan. And for me, it's really, really important that we don't go 1-0 down. It's really, really important that we you know, we start well. And for me, it's really, really important that actually we go 1-0 up, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I think it's really important that we go 1-0 up because I think this is going to be a difficult game, especially if we give Atletico Madrid a lead. It's going to be a difficult game. We're going to find ourselves in a difficult situation. And, you know, the last thing for me that we can do is give Atletico Madrid a lead, give them something to defend. Now, I think being at home is going to give us a massive advantage. And I wish I was at Old Trafford tomorrow, but one, I have COVID, although I'm hoping I'm probably negative now. And two, I don't have tickets. But I'd love to go to Old Trafford tomorrow. But anyone that is going to Old Trafford that is watching, be as loud as you fucking can. Get this team going. Do you remember when we played, was it Atalanta at home? And I think we were 2-0 down and we won 3-2. And how the crowd just got us going and how Ronaldo scored that goal. And it was just a brilliant game, even though we were shit and then good. It was second half FC. It was one of the last games under Rolly. I think it was our last win under Rolly. We need that kind of atmosphere that we brought in the second half. We need to get behind the players. We need to, you know, I think this home advantage is something that we're going to have because it was very, very tight between United and Atletico. We're very, very similar teams at the moment in terms of the way we play. So I think we've got to really be really smart in the way that we approach the game. But I am very, very excited for tomorrow's game, guys. And this time tomorrow, I will be live doing a watch-along for Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid. I'm assuming it is an 8 p.m. kickoff. Let me just Google that. So, yes, I will be live at 7:45 p.m. tomorrow for Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid watch-along. So, make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed so you can tune into my watch-along. Guys, make sure you smash a like on the video if you have not already. Everybody watching, smash that like button. Everybody watching, let me know your score predictions ahead of Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid as well. I'm really intrigued to see where do you think it's going. United win, Atletico Madrid win. I'm going with like 2-1 United, and I think Ronaldo's going to score. Now, Atletico Madrid are starting to find form, and Atletico Madrid having a season similar to us. But I just think home advantage, Cristiano, Ronaldo. I'm thinking United are going to win this 1-0. But do let me know your score prediction down below. 2-1 I think we'll win. And I agree with Gaz. I think we're going to win 2-1. Tomorrow there will be a goal, so that's guaranteed. Yeah, one of the teams has to score tomorrow. If it goes to penalties, I will cry. I do not want penalties tomorrow. Man United, please win it in 90 minutes. I cannot deal with extra time. I cannot deal with penalty shootout tomorrow. I tell you that now. Take it. Do not take it to extra time. Especially do not take it to penalties. Ronaldo, 90-minute winner, and the internet will break. That's what I need. I mean, I need us to go 4-0 up within 10 minutes so I can relax. Although, with Manchester United, we could be 4-0 up at half-time and I still wouldn't be very relaxed because you know what we're like when we have a lead. I mean, this is the thing. I want us to take a lead. I want United to take an early lead because I'm like, if we take an early lead, it plays into our hands. If we let Atletico score the first goal, we are fucked because they're going to gameplay us. They're going to slow us down. We cannot let Atletico get the first goal. But at the same time, if we get the first goal, we're bound to concede an equaliser because for some reason, whenever we score first, we concede. People saying that they think Atletico will win 2-1. Elliot says that we're going to win 2-1 with Ronaldo and Fred scoring. Gaz thinks that Ronnie and Sancho will score tomorrow. I think Ronaldo's going to score tomorrow. And I think Sancho's going to get an assist. And I think a Pogba special goal could happen tomorrow. I'm thinking 2-1. Ronaldo scores to make it 1-0 United. Atleti get an equaliser from maybe a Maguire mistake or something silly. And then it's going to be Pogba magic. Like, Pogba's just going to be like, he's going to show up. And I think we're going to win 2-1. That is my prediction. Do let me know down below. But I will pray one thing. And if you're with me and you do not want to see penalties, maybe if you're neutral, you want to see penalties. But if you're with me right now and you do not want to see penalties tomorrow, smash that like button. I cannot deal with a penalty shootout. That is the only thing I don't want to see. And that is a penalty shootout. I will not be able to deal with that at all. At all. At all. I hate penalties. I cannot watch it. Europa League, Middlesbrough. You know, we go from Europa League to Middlesbrough. Fucking hell, yeah. But we don't seem to be winning them. I will get into the lineup that Manchester United are going to use tomorrow in just a second. So make sure you stay tuned. But Pogba's not been up to it in the last few matches. Not looking right. Maybe Europe will suit Mrs. Andrew. You're absolutely right. Pogba came back, looked really, really solid for 4 or 5 matches. He's dropped off again. Something's not right with Poggy at the moment. But this is the thing about Paul Pogba. He goes through a patch where he's really, really good for a couple of games. Pogba then goes for a patch where he's really shit for a couple of games. We all start going, oh, Pogba this, Pogba's been crap. And then boom, Pogboom shows up. You know, boom, Pogboom. Fred, Pogba as CMs, Matic as CDMs. This is a thing going on Twitter, actually. This is a thing massively going on my Twitter feed. And I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. So do interact with me in the chat. So people are saying, because we beat Spurs with Matic, Fred and Pogba, Matic, Fred and Pogba should be our midfield 3. versus Atletico Madrid. Do you bring Bruno and McTominay back into the side, or do you stay with Matic, Pogba, Fred? Because at the end of the day, I do like Matic, Pogba, Fred, and I like how they can keep the ball quite well. And we did beat Spurs with those players. However, I will say we weren't particularly brilliant against Spurs. It wasn't like we were crazy good against Spurs, whereas we did win, and I think we were probably the better team. I think a draw or a Man United win would have been a fair score. I think if we'd lost to Spurs, I felt hard done by. But I think, you know, that game between Man United and Spurs, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'd say it was really a draw for me. If I was going to be 100% honest with you, I'd say that game was a bit of a draw in terms of levelness, if I'm going to be 100% honest. But people saying that it should be Matic, Pogba, and Fred tomorrow, and I guess that we did win, but we had a much lower XG against Spurs. You know, you take out the Ronaldo goals, and we didn't really create much against Spurs. So, as much as I do like Matic, Pogba, Fred, I think I would bring in Bruno. I wouldn't bring in McTominay, but I'd bring in Bruno. I'd probably stick Pogba on the left. I'd stick Sancho on the right. Actually, I'd probably stick Sancho on the left and just tell Pogba to get on the fucking right. I'd stick Ronaldo up top. I'd do Matic, Fred, Bruno. I wouldn't bring McTominay in. I think McTominay slows us down. I think McTominay really struggled against Atletico Madrid. I mean, so did Fred, to be fair. But I would bring in Bruno myself. But would you guys change that starting 11 or not? Matic can't play 2 games in a week, says Scott, and you're absolutely right. This is my only fear. Matic had a good game, but Matic will probably have a shit game on Tuesday because he will be tired. That is my fear. Matic has been good, but now is he going to be shit again? Like, that is the thing. Now, what I'm gonna do is, guys, I'm gonna share my screen and get up the Manchester United 11 for tomorrow's game versus Atletico Madrid. Well, my Manchester United 11, and then the Manchester United 11, I believe it's going to be tomorrow. So make sure you smash a like on the video if you have not already. Make sure you subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Smash a like, subscribe, bish, bash, bosh. You know what to do. But let me get in the lineup on my screen here. Can you guys see that? I'm assuming that you can. Okay, so we know Ronaldo is starting tomorrow. We 100 million% know Ronaldo is starting tomorrow, and we 100 million% know David De Gea is starting tomorrow. Rangnick has confirmed that Alex Telles is starting tomorrow, and being realistically honest, Jadon Sancho will start tomorrow using common sense. So they are the confirmed starters: Telles, David De Gea, Sancho, and Ronaldo. They're 100% confirmed starters unless some miracle happens in the next 24 hours for Manchester United tomorrow. Who plays at right back? Now, Diego Dalot has been very, very good. However, Wan-Bissaka was good against Atletico Madrid in the second leg, and defensively, they did cause us problems. Now, I think he's going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Even though I think Dalot doesn't deserve to be dropped, I think he's going to go with Wan-Bissaka, and I think he will go with Lindelof, and I think he actually rested Lindelof ahead of this game. I think Varane will come in, and he will drop Maguire, especially with the leak saying that it's JOAO Felix playing up top for Atletico Madrid. JOAO Felix, Maguire can't deal with him. If it's Suarez, I understand playing Maguire, but if it's JOAO Felix, for me, it's Varane. Now, I would play Dalot over Wan-Bissaka, but I think he's rested Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof for this game. Rangnick did come out and say that there will be some changes ahead of these games that people might not expect. So that's quite interesting. Now, I want Matic to play, but I think we're going to see McTominay. Guys. I really do. I think we're going to see Fred. And I think we're going to see Bruno. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I think we're going to see this midfield three. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. And then I think he might give Alanga a go. Now, that is what I think Ralf Rangnick's going to do. And now we know that Ralf Rangnick is starting Telles. He's confirmed that. We know De Gea, Ronaldo, and Sancho are all playing. We know that Lindelof was rested, so we believe that he will start this game. And it could be Maguire, but I think if you've got Varane fit, you play Varane over Maguire unless you're an idiot. Now, I would play Matic ahead of McTominay, but McTominay and Bruno are back, and Rangnick said he really wants McTominay and Bruno back for the Atleti game, showing that he's in our plans. And whether you like McTominay or Bruno or not, Rangnick does like them, and Rangnick does seem to play them. So this is just the lineup that I believe Ralf Rangnick will do, if I'm being honest. However, there's a small part of me that thinks maybe he could use Alanga for impact. Maybe he could, use Cavani for impact. And maybe Bruno, because I don't know if Bruno's understood right, he might do Pogba again and put Pogba in that 8 role. Now, let me know the lineup you personally do down below. I'm going to show you my lineup now. So this is Ralf Rangnick's lineup. This is what I believe Ralf Rangnick's lineup will be. But I'm going to show you my lineup. Now, if it was my lineup, Diego Dalot would play ahead of Wan-Bissaka. Matic will play, even though I'm worried about Matic playing. If I'm going to be honest, I am a little bit worried about Matic playing this game because of his lack of legs. But if it was my lineup, I would be doing Matic, Bruno, and I'd be having Pogba in here. I would. And I'd be looking to try and get a bit more possession. And then we've got Alanga and Cavani on the bench for impact. This is my starting 11. The starting 11 earlier is what I believe Rangnick's starting 11. I agree with Maguire is a liability, says Bleach Guy. Exactly. I think Maguire can deal with Suarez, but it is JOAO Felix starting tomorrow, according to leaks. And for me, Maguire cannot deal with JOAO Felix. And the leaks are saying it's a JOAO Felix and Griezmann front two up top for Atletico Madrid. And now, I will be honest, Atletico Madrid have got a lot of first-team players out. It's been reported that Vishalko, Waz, Lemar, Cunha, and Carrasco are all out of the game tomorrow, which is some big losses for Atletico Madrid. And JOAO Felix and Griezmann will be the two strikers for Atletico Madrid. And I just think Varane and Lindelof, with their mobility, will be able to deal with them well. Guys, make sure you smash that like button if you have not already. As Gaz says, smash a like button for Alice. And Paul says CR807. Cristiano Ronaldo breaking the goal scoring record as well. Is it going to be CR809 versus Atletico Madrid tomorrow, guys? Let me know. So smash your like button if Cristiano Ronaldo is your GOAT. Smash your like button if you want Manchester United to beat Atletico Madrid. And do let me know your score predictions and thoughts down below in the chat. Andrew says a too big ask to ask Matic to start on short rest. Maybe a late sub at most. And that's why I think McTominay will play. This is my lineup, but Ralph's lineup includes McTominay and not Matic, and Wan-Bissaka and not Delo. I think McTominay will play ahead of Matic because he cannot play every single week. I do believe that McTominay will play ahead of Matic. But the thing is, I think Matic, if he doesn't start, would be a very good sub to come on and control the game, because in the first leg, we brought Matic on and then we controlled the game and we started to actually create chances. Because when we played Atletico Madrid in the first leg and we were 1-0 down, we weren't creating anything. And Ralf Rangnick actually made a defensive change. Ralf Rangnick put Wan-Bissaka and Matic on. Wan-Bissaka and Matic, two defensive changes, actually improved us going forward because Atletico Madrid were so much better than us in the first leg. Atletico Madrid swarmed us so much in the first leg that we couldn't really do anything. We couldn't create anything. We were really, really struggling in that first leg against Atletico Madrid. Like, we were massively struggling. And then we brought Matic and Wan-Bissaka on, and we looked better going forward because defensively, they wouldn't let us play out from the back. We were struggling so much in the midfield, so much defensively versus Atletico Madrid, that the attack couldn't get the ball. And then all of a sudden, we bring on Matic, we bring on Wan-Bissaka, we make this good defensive substitution from Ralf Rangnick, which he got spot on, and we picked up the game from there. And I think Ralf Rangnick himself has actually learned from that first leg. I think Ralf Rangnick's actually learned from that first leg, saying, you know what, I need to get more control in the midfield, which maybe he will start Matic, but I think, Ralf Rangnick's desperation to have McTominay back, I believe that McTominay will start. I mean, that's just my lineup if I was going to start a team as well. But make sure you smash a like, guys, if you have not already. Ralf Rangnick spoke out actually today, and Ralf Rangnick's made some really funny comments, and I'm going to read this out. And this is why I love Ralf Rangnick, guys. This is why I love Ralf Rangnick, because he's so fucking honest. Ralf Rangnick just says it how it is. There's no holding back. Ralf Rangnick's had to get a PR guy because he just does not hold back. Ralf Rangnick was like, Lingard wanted a holiday because he was angry he didn't get his move. Martial didn't want to train. Rangnick does not hold back. And Ralf Rangnick, when asked if Manchester United could win the Champions League, he said on Sunday after the Manchester City match, I felt like I was at a funeral. It was a dead end. It was at least a decade or whatever until we got a chance of winning the Champions League. I felt like I'd coached the worst ever team in my life. Now after the win, we fancy our chances. I love how Rangnick came out and said that basically he felt like it was the worst team he'd ever coached after the Man City loss. How he felt it was a funeral, how he felt it was dead, how he felt it was the end of the decade. I just love Ralf Rangnick's pure honesty. It absolutely cracks me up. I don't know about you guys, but his honesty 100% just cracks me up as well. And Rangnick came out and said he had some individual conversations with some players after the City result as well, Ralf Rangnick said. Now, we can guess who those individual conversations are because let's think, who got dropped? Wan-Bissaka. He was absolutely dreadful. I'm sure he had a conversation with Harry Maguire because he was absolutely dreadful. And I'm sure he had a conversation with Jesse Lingard and Rashford because the subs made us worse. But Ralf Rangnick has got a massive decision tomorrow. Will he drop Harry Maguire? Let me know below. Do you expect to see Varane and Lindelof, or do you expect to see Varane and Maguire? Because Lindelof has been rested, and you do not drop Varane in the Champions League. If tomorrow, because this time tomorrow the lineups will be out. If the confirmed lineup is out tomorrow and Rafael Varane is not starting, and it's Maguire and Lindelof, and there's no reasonable reason why Rafael Varane is not starting, I will be fuming. When you have Champions League Varane, when you have Champions League Ronaldo, they've got to start tomorrow. If Maguire starts over Varane, I will 100,000,000% absolutely lose it. Ivan said there's a clear British bias within the club to select those players. It should be about merit. I think the fact that Maguire and Scott McTominay are the two players that consistently get picked week in, week out after poor performances, hence is a British bias. Especially with Maguire, I think McTominay has been better under Rangnick. I think McTominay has had some good games under Rangnick, whereas Maguire has been utterly shit this season. He has dropped Wan-Bissaka, and that is the one British player he has dropped, and he has dropped Rashford, to be fair, but he's not dropping the proper British players, Maguire and McTominay. But to be fair, I think McTominay's definitely improved under Rangnick, and look, I wouldn't start McTominay tomorrow, but I think Rangnick will start McTominay tomorrow, and I can understand why. And I don't have too much criticisms of McTominay as of yet, myself. Like, I think with Scott McTominay, I think he's a good bench player. I don't mind him at Manchester United. I think he's a good player. He's got a good attitude. He's got a good work. He's got a good mindset. I think he's a good player to have on the bench. He has his good games. I think maybe stick a good CDM next to McTominay, play him as an 8, and we could see a really top player in Scott McTominay. But for me, under Ollie, Scott McTominay was awful. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Scott McTominay was dreadful, but I just think he's massively improved under Rangnick. But for me, Maguire is that one player that deserves to be dropped. Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. And you know what? I was looking back at it. £150 million we spent on Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Dan James. £150 million on Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Dan James. What the hell? No wonder this club is mudded. No wonder this club is mudded. They brought a Garlo when they could have got Haaland. They spent £150 million on Daniel James, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. And I read somewhere that we paid Brandon Williams more money than Liverpool paid Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. This club, you know, thank God Woodward is gone. And I'm going to go to my next point. This is why United need to give Ralf Rangnick full power in the consultancy role. Ralf Rangnick is going upstairs. He's getting that consultancy role. But Ralf Rangnick needs full power in that consultancy role, guys. Because if United board choose who we bring in, they'll get Poch. The United board want to get Poch. The United board want to get a yes man in Poch. And the United board want to keep Maguire, make Poch play Maguire every week because he's British, he's captain, he's 80 million. And the United board want to choose who we buy and sell. If the United board let go of what they've been doing for the last 10 years and say, you know what, Rangnick, you can get Ten Hag because you're the football man, you know more than me. You want Ten Hag, he's closest to your philosophy, and let Rangnick bring in Ten Hag. If the board let Ten Hag sell players like Maguire, even though it's going to embarrass them and they're going to make a loss, and if the board decide to back Ten Hag and buy him exactly who he wants for the next 3 seasons, then United can move forward as a club. We can move forward as a club. But if we're going to be the United that spent £150 million on Dan James, Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, then refuses to sell Harry Maguire because they don't want to make a loss and refuses to give Ralf Rangnick any power when he goes upstairs, we're fucked. Because you know what? This will be our last Champions League game for a couple of years tomorrow. You know, Arsenal didn't think they'd go 5 years without Champions League, and they did when they last got knocked out. And this could be the same for us. Because right now, and I don't want to be negative, but right now, the way I look at Manchester United, I think Ronaldo's going, Matic is going, Pogba's going. That's 3 players. Now, Matic in his prime, brilliant player. Pogba's a brilliant player. Ronaldo's such an influential player. That's 3 players that need to be replaced on top of the players that we already need to add. A young striker, a right winger, potentially a right back, a CDM, you know, a box-to-box midfielder to replace Pogba. We need to replace those players and bring in new players. And I think, fucking hell, Arsenal right now have got a young team. They're building a project. Surely they're going to improve next season. They're taking a step in the right direction. Liverpool and City are miles clear. Chelsea are going to get some Saudi owners in. Newcastle are going to get some Saudi owners in and be ahead of us before we know. Aston Villa could be ahead of us in a couple of years with the way they're going. Spurs show more ambition than us at the moment. I'm thinking we're not at the Champions League and we use Ronaldo, Pogba, Matic, and we do not buy at least 4 good players. where the fuck are we going? If we end up, you know, keeping the same shit, if we end up getting Poch and then refusing to buy the players Poch wants, and then if Poch wants Maguire sold and we tell Poch he has to pay Maguire because he's 80 million, then we ain't going to be in the top 4 for fucking years. United need to give Ten Hag freedom, and need to get Ten Hag. Ralf Rangnick wants Ten Hag. It's confirmed Ralf Rangnick wants Ten Hag. It's his first choice. Ralf Rangnick and a couple of the footballing people at Manchester United are pushing for Ten Hag, but the bankers want Poch. Now, if you're a banker and you want Poch, but all the footballers and all the people with the footballing mindset want Ten Hag, then surely you should be getting Ten Hag. If we get Poch, it confirms this club is all about bank, bank, bank. If we get Ten Hag, it confirms that this club wants to change its direction and listen to the footballing people instead of the bankers. And if you're a banker and you failed at your job for the last 10 years at Manchester United and you spent 150 million on Daniel James, Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, you chose to get Galo over Haaland and you give Brandon Williams the same wages as Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you still think you're competent to make decisions at Man United and ahead of Ralf Rangnick, then we're going to be fucked for another 10 years. Absolutely fucked. So we better, and I say we better, get Ten Hag because he wants us. We want him as the fans. Rangnick wants him. And you know what you're getting with Poch. I think Ten Hag's a risk worth taking because he will go to City after Pep. I tell you that now if we do not get him. Now, people saying, Alice, what's wrong with Poch? 6 months ago, you would have loved Poch. What is wrong with Poch? It's not that I don't like Poch. Poch is my third choice for manager. Poch is my third choice. The reason I don't want Poch at Manchester United is because when Ten Hag is available, why go for Poch? If Ten Hag was not available and was not allowed to leave Ajax this season, I'd be fine with Poch. But when it's come out and it's officially confirmed by Ten Hag, Ajax, close representatives of Ten Hag, that Ten Hag will leave Ajax this season, he's available, and Manchester United are currently the only big club looking for a manager. If we don't get Ten Hag, it's criminal when the fans want him, Rangnick wants him, but also the fact that he is leaving Ajax this summer and available. It's not that I hate Poch, it's that if Ten Hag's available, why get Poch? Okay? Because Poch will be available again. Ten Hag is the type of manager that will go to City, be there for the next 10 years, and will be sitting there crying like with Klopp, like with Pep. Fuck's sake. Poch will go to another job, be there for 3 years, boom, and he'll come calling back to us. That's how I feel about it as well. Gaz said he'd rather keep Ralf than Poch. Big up Gaz as well. I mean, guys, let me know down below, Ralf or Poch. I mean, for me, I think most people agree that Ten Hag's first choice, but Ralf or Poch. And Andrew says, in-app bankers, they're not spending well or smart and lack success on the pitch has hurt us. Our rivals have pretty much caught us up financially as well, says Andrew. And bold statement there from Andrew in the chat. I wish I tuned in to hear what you said about Sally Maguire. And look, all I'm saying about Sally Maguire is he needs to be dropped tomorrow. The leaked lineup for Atletico Madrid says that Griezmann and JOAO Felix are starting up top, and they will cause Maguire problems. They will cause Maguire big, big problems. For me, it's Lindelof and Varane starting. I don't know who you'd start, but for me, it has to be Lindelof or Varane. Ralf or Poch, I'd go Poch to Steve. And someone said they'd rather stick with Ralf Rangnick than Poch. And look, I won't lie. I like what Ralf Rangnick is doing. I really like what Ralf Rangnick is doing at Man United. I know we're not getting the results, but what do you expect Ralf Rangnick to do when they haven't brought any of his players? He has to deal with an inept board, and he has to deal with player egos, and he has to deal with a team that Ollie already fucked up enough. You know, Ralf Rangnick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't improve any of those players. You know what? Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, and Anthony Martial were all at their best in Ollie's first season. In Ollie's first season, Marcus, Mason, Martial were all absolutely brilliant. All scoring, 20-plus goals each, basically. And absolutely brilliant. Outscoring Salah, Firmino, and Mane. We're thinking, fucking hell, our attack is brilliant. And then all of a sudden, Marcus, well, obviously Mason, and Martial have all no player development at all in the last 3 years at Manchester United. Ollie and the coaches did not develop any of those players. The only development we saw in the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era was Luke Shaw go. That was it for me. That was absolutely it. Bruno came in, hit the ground running. How many players were actually good in that Ole era? That first season, that attack was good. Maguire was okay in his first season, but we were playing negative football. Luke Shaw had a good season last year, but we weren't brilliant, were we? We weren't. Wan-Bissaka had a good first season. Wan-Bissaka's got worse since he's come in. Wan-Bissaka's got worse. Honestly, and I think since Ralf Rangnick's come in, I see a massive improvement in Diego Dalot. And I will admit right now, I was wrong about Diogo Dalot. I was wrong about Diogo Dalot. I thought Wan-Bissaka was clear of Dalot. I did not rate Dalot. Diogo Dalot is clear of Wan-Bissaka right now. Now, maybe if Wan-Bissaka gets his form back, cool. But we've seen a massive improvement in Diogo Dalot. We've seen a massive improvement in Fred. And now Fred does have his off games, but we have seen improvement in Fred. We've seen an improvement in Scott McTominay as well. We've seen an improvement in Victor Lindelof. And we've seen a massive improvement in Jadon Sancho. Ralph has come in. He's woken up Sancho. He's woken up Dalot. Two players that weren't being used under Ollie. Ollie was not getting the best out of those two. And look, Fred have gone from dropping 4 out of 10s every game to putting in 6 out of 10s and the occasional 8 out of 10. Ralf Rangnick has come in and for me he's improved players. Whereas under Ollie, I didn't see much player improvement. Now this is only short-term improvement. We could be sitting here and actually going long-term as Ralf Rangnick improved anyone. But you know the gist of my points. I actually really like Ralf Rangnick. I really, really do. And I think he's literally having to deal with a pile of rubbish players. And, you know, players that aren't good enough for the club, players that don't want to be here, players causing problems. He's got none of his own players. And if you notice, and I saw this on Twitter. I did not know who tweeted it, but I read this on Twitter and I thought this was spot on. Ralf Rangnick wanted Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is a player Ralf Rangnick wanted. When Sancho was 18, Ralf Rangnick tried to get him at Schalke. Was it Schalke or was it Leipzig? Ralf Rangnick tried desperately to get Sancho when he was 18. So, and someone said, have you noticed how Sancho's been our best player under Ralf Rangnick? And I think there's a coincidence with the fact that Ralf Rangnick, we know, wanted Sancho at Leipzig, and Sancho being Ralf Rangnick's best player at Man United so far, because it's a player the manager wants. And a lot of the players we've brought into Manchester United flop. But have you noticed when you buy in a player that the manager wants and suits the manager's philosophy and they love, they tend to not flop? You know, Klopp chooses every player that comes to Liverpool. Diaz has hit the ground running. Shota's hit the ground running. No one thought Diaz and Shota would be that good. Mane, Firmino, Salah all hit the ground running. Trent, Robbo, all brilliant for Liverpool. Now, if you look at Manchester United, all the players that are performing for Manchester United are players that Ralf Rangnick would have wanted at Leipzig. Now, Sancho, Ralf Rangnick wanted at Leipzig. And someone put on Twitter that basically Jadon Sancho is Ralf Rangnick signing. And I agree that Jadon Sancho is basically Ralf Rangnick signing because Ralf Rangnick would have signed him at Leipzig if he could. Ralf Rangnick followed Jadon Sancho extensively at Leipzig. We all know that. And it's like, all of a sudden, Sancho's brilliant for us. As soon as Rangnick's come in, and to be fair, Sancho started picking it under carry, but as soon as Rangnick came in, Sancho's gone from absolute trash. I mean, Sancho was putting in the performances that Rashford's putting in right now under Ollie, so actually looking like an absolute baller. And that is because he's a player Ralf Rangnick wants. And if you notice how Ralf Rangnick gets the best out of players he wants, in that Man United starting 11, the only player Ralf Rangnick's actively wanted as a manager when he was at Leipzig, when he was at Schalke, is Sancho, and he's our best player. So imagine if, you know, we don't get Poch and we don't get Ten Hag. Imagine if we can't get Ten Hag. And this is why, for me, Ten Hag is first choice. And people will call me deluded, people will call me stupid, but if it's Poch or Rangnick, the reason I choose Rangnick is I think if we give Rangnick 3 or 4 players he wants, I think we could actually see him do something good because he's improved players like Dalot, he's improved Fred, he's brought Sancho out, he's clearly wanting to play a certain way, but he doesn't have the players and facilities to do that. My only criticism of Ralf Rangnick is the constantly starting Maguire and questionable subs. However, a lot of Ralf Rangnick's questionable subs, for me, have ended up paying off. Like, I'm thinking, why is he taking Pogba off? Alanga comes on and scores versus Leeds. Why is he taking Pogba off again? Fucking Matic for Pogba. We're 1-0 down. That was a masterclass sub in the first leg versus Atletico Madrid. Absolute masterclass. Because that defensive sub of Pogba for Matic and Wan-Bissaka meant that we could control the game because we were not able to play out from the back in the first against Atletico Madrid. We're being absolutely controlled at the back. It was a masterclass thing. Andrew says Sancho was convinced to come play under Ollie, but unfortunately he was not given hardly any chances under him. Exactly. And Ralf Rangnick actually spoke about Jadon Sancho today, actually. And Ralf Rangnick said this about Sancho. He said that Jadon Sancho is getting closer to the Jadon Sancho he knew in Germany. In the end, it's a question of trust, playing time, trust. He performed at a very high level. Ralf Rangnick literally came out and said Jadon Sancho is now performing because you've got to give him trust and playing time. Taking a little bit of a shot at Ollie here. And Jadon Sancho, Ralf Rangnick also spoke about Jadon Sancho again today in his press conference. And Rangnick said regarding Jadon Sancho that Sancho is now unrecognisable to the player he was when he first joined Manchester United. He said that he disagrees that Sancho's now unrecognisable because he's known Sancho how he was when he was 18 and he's seeing the old Sancho. But when Sancho first joined United, he was playing how Rashford is playing right now. Now, I saw another tweet today, and I want you guys' opinion on this, but someone said Rashford is having an off season and he'll be back next season. You know how Sterling was really, really good, had 2 pretty crap seasons, but it didn't really matter because he still won the league, and then he was good again. Do you think this could be Rashford's Sterling season where he has a crap season, everyone writes him off, and he can redeem himself? Also, that's just a question on Marcus Rashford, completely irrelevant, but just thought I'd throw that out as well. Ten Hag incoming, says Paul. This is the big question. Will the board go for Ten Hag? Will the board go for the players the fans want? Will the board go for the manager? Will the board go for the manager the fans want? Will the board go for the manager Rangnick wants? Will the board go for the manager that's available? Or will the board go for the yes man, the one they control, the banker guy, Poch? Will we go for Poch? Will we go for Ten Hag? That is the big question. Now, Poch is apparently going to be sacked from PSG. I don't know what the situation is with this, but it was said that Poch will be sacked from PSG. It came out from L'Equipe, which is quite a good French source, saying that Mikel Arteta, Ten Hag, and Conte are 3 of the 10 candidates to replace Mauricio Pochettino as PSG coach. I think it's looking very, very obvious that PSG will get rid of Poch. And this is the problem. Right now, Ten Hag has the advantage because it is easier and cheaper for the United board to get Ten Hag because Ten Hag will leave Ajax at the end of the season. He is available, whereas Poch will still be contracted at PSG unless he's sacked. That is true. However, if Poch is sacked from PSG, you know United are going to get him. And I feel like if Poch gets sacked in the next 2 weeks, give it a week and Poch will be announced as United's manager. However, we were joking that Pogba's confirmed Ten Hag with Pogba and his bald head. You know, we were saying, oh, Pogba's confirmed Ten Hag to Man United with his bald head. So hopefully we do get Ten Hag, but you just don't know. Rangnick, it's the question of, are the board going to do what they've done for the last 10 years and decide who they want? Or are they going to change it up and realise that they failed everything in the last 10 years? We haven't won anything good in the last 10 years and say, you know what, Ralf Rangnick, you're the football man. You make the decisions. You choose the manager. We back the manager. Will they change their strategy or will we still be a financed, banker-based club? That is the big question surrounding Manchester United. Now, talking of manager news and all of that, I'm actually going to read out what was said. If you want to stay up to date on all the Ten Hag news, make sure you subscribe because the moment we sign Ten Hag or Poch, or the moment we get a manager in, I mean, it will be Ten Hag or Poch. I'll tell you that now. I'll be very, very shocked if it isn't Ten Hag or Poch. But the moment the next Man United manager is 100% confirmed, I'll be live. So do make sure you subscribe with post notifications on so you know all the gossip and all of that. And I will be live tomorrow night for Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid watch along. I'm going to be doing a very, very good watch along tomorrow for United versus Atletico Madrid. If we lose, there'll be tears. If we win, there'll be cheers. That's what I'm saying about tomorrow's watch along. So do make sure to subscribe. But the Manchester Evening News said that it's believed it's to be neck and neck between Ten Hag and Poch in the race to replace Rangnick. The Manchester Evening News also said that Pochettino remains the leading candidate to become United's next manager, with ERIK Ten Hag also in the running. It's believed to be neck and neck though, as Ralf Rangnick would rather Ten Hag and is pushing for Ten Hag. The Mirror, and this is Mullock's Mirror, so one of the more reliable journalists from the Mirror, said that ERIK Ten Hag actually came out and spoke how he loves the German model. He loves Germany. It's a common thing. Sporting director sitting on the bench right next to you. ERIK Ten Hag flirting with German coach, aka flirting with Rangnick. And the Mirror actually said that Ten Hag has strong support from inside Old Trafford that he can be the man to revive the Reds, including Ralf Rangnick. They have confirmed Ralf Rangnick and a couple of the footballing people within Old Trafford are pushing for Ten Hag. The board want Poch, the bankers want Poch, but the footballing people in the club are pushing for Ten Hag. The Mirror also said that ERIK Ten Hag is ready to answer Manchester United's SOS and is also open to having Ralf Rangnick alongside him on the bench. And this is what I love. This is why I want Ten Hag, because the manager and the board situation at Manchester United has been very, very poor the last few years. The manager board situation at United has been very, very poor the last few years. And I think if United, when we let Rangnick go upstairs, when we let Rangnick get that consultancy role, if United give Rangnick free roam to recruit the manager he wants, to get the players the manager wants, to choose the direction of Manchester United, we'll be on the right direction. Because the direction we've done the last 10 years is the bankers' direction, and it's failed. 150 million on Wan-Bissaka, Dan James Maguire says it all. Ten Hag and Rangnick have a good relationship. Ten Hag wants to work with Rangnick. Wants to work with Rangnick, and Rangnick wants Ten Hag. And do you know why Ten Hag's been so successful at Ajax? Why? Because he worked with Van der Sar and Overmars very closely. Now, the problem is, United could bring in Ten Hag, isolate him, choose his decisions, not buy the players he wants, sell players he wants, make him play players he doesn't want. United could very easily do that with Ten Hag. If United bring Ten Hag in because Ten Hag wants to come, he's the right man, and Rangnick wants Ten Hag, and let's Ten Hag work very closely with Rangnick, and let's Rangnick actually be on the bench with Ten Hag, and actually we're going to get a co-sporting director in as well as Murta, whoever that is, work with them and rebuild the Overmars, Van der Sar, Ten Hag relationship, but with Rangnick, someone else, and Ten Hag, and then actually say, yeah, we're going to give Ten Hag full backing for at least 3 seasons, buy who he wants, sell who he wants, give him time. Then we can go catch City. Then we can go catch Liverpool. That's what we need to do. Will we do that, though? Unlikely. It's going to be Poch, yes man, limited transfers, and another 10 years of failure. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, I think. But we really need to bring in Ten Hag because Rangnick wants to work with him. And then let people higher up work with Ten Hag, because that's exactly what's happened at Ajax. And that is how Ajax... I've always been a good side. I've always been up there in the title race. But the reason Ajax have become so unbelievably clear and Ten Hag stayed in Ajax on this complete new level is because how he's working with the board. Steve says Ten Hag, only the best coach you can go for. And Andrew says if Ten Hag doesn't get RALF upstairs and allowed to bring in his coaches along, he would be crazy to take the United job. You're absolutely right, Andrew. United have got to give Ten Hag his coaches, give Ten Hag backing, and let him work with RALF upstairs. Everybody, if you want Ten Hag to be the next Manchester United manager, make sure you smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I do watch-alongs to every Manchester United game. I do live previews to every Manchester United game. And I do match reactions to every Manchester United game as well. And I'm actually going to be live tomorrow for United versus Atletico Madrid, and then there will be a match lot reaction. And then obviously we've got like 3 weeks without football. I hate the international break. And I tell you what, Gareth Southgate, I'm calling Southgate out here. Gareth Southgate, if you do not call up Jadon Sancho, I'm going to come and I'm going to have a word with you. Jadon Sancho has to get an England call up. If I see Rashford get called up and not Jadon Sancho for England, for the internationals, I'll be thinking, my God, favouritism FC. It's all over again, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, look, I hate the international break. It's Atletico Madrid. We've got a big 3-week gap, but there will be United content in that 3-week gap. And I will say, and look, honestly, I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. So don't act like I'm telling you this. I just have a feeling, and I wouldn't be surprised if United confirm their next manager in the international break. I just think Ten Hag Poch is heating up massively. I think it's absolutely heating up massively. I think there's stuff going on behind the scenes surrounding Ten Hag and Poch. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes surrounding Ten Hag and Poch. And I generally wouldn't be surprised if our next manager is confirmed within the next month, within the next 3 weeks. I wouldn't even be surprised. It's very clear United want Rangnick upstairs. It's very clear how, United are already in negotiations that they want this new manager shit sorted early so they can obviously choose our CDM, choose our young striker. Romana's confirmed midfielder and young striker, but we can't choose who and who the manager's in, who their profile is. I wouldn't be shocked if in the next 3 weeks it is confirmed who our next manager is. Now, we're joking, it's obviously Ten Hag confirmed because Pogba's gone bald and all of that, but it is Ten Hag or Poch. 90% likely it's Ten Hag or Poch, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if it gets confirmed very soon. I just think it's very much heating up. Make sure you smash a like if you were team Ten Hag. Make sure you smash a like. Is there a manager that isn't Ten Hag or Poch that you want at United? Because I know a couple of people want Luis Enrique. I know some people want Pellegrini. I know that we can't get them because the World Cup coming up. But is there any manager that you would go for? Carlo Ancelotti, personally, not myself. Would Tuchel even? Obviously, if Chelsea go bust, but I think Chelsea's about to be bought. Who would you, like, if you weren't going to get Ten Hag or Poch, personally, who would you bring? Who would you bring, guys? I'm just going to take that off my screen. Look at my hair now. What's happened to my hair there? It's gone all messy. I'm not having a good day. I'm still recovering from COVID, so I'm a little bit dead looking at the moment. I won't lie to you guys. But I'm going to get through a couple of chats. Great show. Please shout out my dad's birthday, Terry. Big up Terry, happy birthday. People saying Tuchel, Flick. Oh, Flick would be a good coach. Ronaldo the GOAT. Sedan. Yeah, smash a like if Ronaldo's your GOAT. The next game after Atletico is April 2nd, so that's 18 days after tomorrow. 18 days without football, guys. How are we going to live? How are we going to survive? That is why you've got to be subscribed to Alice Talks Football, because even though after the Atletico Madrid game there will be 18 days without Manchester United, there will be live streams pretty much most nights on the channel, a couple videos as well, so you're staying up to date with all the United news despite us not playing. So bish, bash, bosh, hit that subscribe button as well. Only thing about Southgate plays such horrible football, it might rub off on Jadon. Good point there. I mean, I don't like England. I don't like the international break because I'm being honest, I don't like watching England. I don't. Now, I know Southgate has done very well. He's took us to a final. He's took us to a semi-final. You can't sack him for that. I just don't like the football he plays. I'm just being straight up honest with you. DJ says, Ollie's return to the wheel. Tell me how bad would that feel now with Sancho, no Pogba, and Fred. My God. And Andrew, the Tuchel was available, he'd take him if he doesn't take any crap or deal with egos. And Tuchel dealt with PSG egos quite well. Poch is struggling with the PSG egos as well, which means for me, I don't think he's the solution with the problems we're having. Now, what I will say, and I know it's not relevant to Manchester United, but who the fuck do PSG fans think they are booing Neymar and Messi? Well, I get it, PSG. You've been knocked out the Champions League and you probably have the best team in the world on paper, but you just can't play as a team. But why boo Neymar and Messi? Like, they are bigger than your club, and I hate that word. Oh, they're bigger than your club, but they are. Like, PSG were no one like 10 years ago. Like, honestly. Booing Neymar and Messi. Look, you're knocked out the Champions League, but you're not Man United. You know, it's not like you're not winning anything. You get to win. PSG basically get a free ride to a trophy every year in the Farmers League. A free ride to a trophy every year. And they have assault when they get knocked out the Champions League and boo their players. Imagine being a United fan. Put yourself in our shoes, PSG. Imagine being a United fan as well. Honestly, PSG fans are arrogant. Ten Hag is used to the board listening to him and will he be able to handle having our board instead? Poch is used to listening to the board. Yeah, look, this is the problem. The one thing Poch has over Ten Hag is Poch has Premier League experience, but Poch has experience working with a board that don't give him what he wants. Ten Hag has only worked with a board that's listened to him, whereas Poch listens to the board. United want Poch because he listens to the board, but the best option is for the board to listen to Ten Hag and us to get Ten Hag and listen to Rangnick. But United aren't logical like that. So yeah, someone says give Michael Carrick the job. And PSG is a small team, says Finder, and Real Madrid booed CR7, then he scored a hat-trick. I mean, Real Madrid and PSG fans are the most ungrateful. Like, look, the Man United fan base isn't toxic. It's not perfect. It is a bit toxic. But Real Madrid and PSG are a new level of ungrateful. The disrespect to Bale, Ronaldo, Messi, and Neymar. I mean, some of our fans have shown Ronaldo disrespect, but it is like, if you notice, they're all under the age of about 20. They're all younger than me. Anyone my age, that shows Ronaldo respect. It's all the kids that show Ronaldo the respect. But I tell you that now. We need to show our players some respect versus Atletico Madrid. Even though they don't deserve it, a lot of them. We don't boo them or anything. We need to get behind them. We need the crowd to be booming, booming, booming. I tell you what, this game tomorrow is massive. And before I end my live stream, Champions League predictions. Guys, get them below in the chat. Get your predictions right down below in the chat. Who is winning, United or PSG? Fucking hell, United or Atletico Madrid tomorrow. It was meant to be PSG. That was so fixed when it was meant to be PSG. Do you think Maguire starts tomorrow? Hopefully not. Ten Hag and Rangnick on the bench next season. Look, realistically, we always say Maguire should be dropped and he always starts. Realistically, Maguire will probably start. However, I would start Lindelof and Varane. And Rangnick ain't stupid, and there's a small part of me that thinks he could drop Maguire because he did rest Lindelof. Because you won't drop Varane in the Champions League game. You cannot drop Champions League Varane. I think it could be Varane and Lindelof, but I wouldn't be shocked if Maguire started. I really could not tell you. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-0. Most people are predicting 2-1 United as well. Look, I think we're going to win 2-1 United. I think Sancho's going to get an assist, and I think Ronaldo and Pogba are going to score the goals. I think we'll go 1-0 up. We'll concede a silly goal. And then I think we're going to have this moment of magic to win it 2-1. And Old Trafford's going to go fucking crazy tomorrow. But do let me know down below. I'm sick of Arsenal fans. I tell you what, I'm following every single Arsenal fan on Twitter once they get top 4. because they're unbearable when they're finishing 8th. Imagine how unbearable they're going to be when they finish above us and get Champions League for the first time in 5 years. Sal says 3-1 Elanga, Ronaldo, Sancho. That would be absolutely lovely. Paul says 2-1 United. Gaz says 2-1 United if Sally Maguire does not start. And Ralph needs to step up and drop Maguire. Has to make that statement. I agree with you, Andrew. Spot on. Johnny thinks Atletico will score twice, but hopefully 3-2 United. That would be a very, very good game as well. And yes, quarter-final time. Well, all I'm saying is Chelsea sacked a club legend, appointed a German coach, and beat Atletico Madrid in the round of 16. And then what happened? They won the Champions League last season. What have we done? Sacked a club legend, appointed a German coach. So if we beat Atletico Madrid in the round of 16, surely that's the Champions League dub. Confirmed. Maybe not. Unlikely. But guys, make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe down below if you're new. 24 hours to go to the biggest game all season. United versus Atletico. 24 hours to go. This time tomorrow, I will be live. This time tomorrow, guys, I'm going to be live doing my watch along to the game. So make sure you subscribe and post notifications on, because this time tomorrow, I'm doing a live watch along for Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid. And you do not want to miss that, because if we lose, there'll be tears. But if we win, oh, there'll be some cheers and all of that. But I'm going to end the live stream here. I am going to wrap it up. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new and all of that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into today's live stream. I know I'm speaking really, really fast. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow night for the watch along. Yes. Thanks, everyone. Big up everybody in the chat. Hope we win. Tuchel made much more immediate impact than Ralph. I do agree. And yeah, let's go. And yeah, I'm going to watch City versus Palace now. Bye, guys.